Hi! Welcome back to Musicians Edition Practice with me for flute. Today we are in the Rubank Elementary Method for flute or piccolo. And today we're on the very last song, Lullaby. Now I know how excited you guys for the intermediate series, so we're gonna go ahead and do all three parts today, okay? Speaking of the intermediate book, now, really, get your intermediate book if you haven't done so already. And since we're transitioning on to intermediate, it might be time to question if you should upgrade your student flute to an intermediate flute. So if you're wondering so, check out the video as well. All right, but let's move on. Lullaby. Now, this is the classic lullaby that you're thinking of. Da 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 da. So it's really gonna help that we're familiar with the tune, okay? But this is a trio, so we'll have to keep that in mind. It's still going to, the top part is the melody, so part one's gonna really feel confident in what they're doing. It's just that there's a lot of high notes, and a lullaby is supposed to be soft. So that is the challenge. We're gonna be playing high, but softly. Okay, so right now, since we're gonna be doing all three parts, these are the things we're gonna be talking about for all three parts. So tell me, what is in our key signature? We have one flat, B flat. Now, is this major or minor? And which major or minor is this? This is the key of F major. Great. Tell me about our time signature. Playing in 3/4. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now we do have a pickup, so which means on those 2/8 notes, we're going to come in on beat 3. So whenever I do give us the count, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, play. Okay? So let's talk dynamics. What do we have going on? Starting with pianissimo, very quiet. Okay? Then in that first official, we're going to crescendo, but only to piano. So we're still awfully soft. We're going to remain awfully soft until line 2. Check it out. We're magically mezzo forte, kind of loud, but then we decrescendo on those 8th notes all the way down to piano. So back to nice, soft, and quiet. And then once again, we're going to come in right at mezzo forte, kind of loud, and then we have a whole entire measure to decrescendo back down to piano, and we're going to play the rest out nice and softly. So most of this is soft, okay? So tell me about our tempo. Andante con moto. What do you think that means? Well, we know what andante is. We know it's like a walking pace. The con moto is with movement. It doesn't necessarily mean like physical movement. It just means the way it's driven forward, but you know, it's a lullaby, so it's not anything really too intense. You know, we're gonna just play it like the lullaby. Okay, so we also have retardendos there, second to last measure. Because of the video, it's a little harder for me to actually do those, so we're not gonna do those. But if you're playing with an actual trio, make sure you guys are in alignment and follow who the leader is for that retardendo, okay? All right, so let's start with part 1, okay? Looking ahead, we can see we don't have any accidentals. We don't see any sharps, flats, neutral signs, natural signs in here. We can see that we have a grace note, which is something we haven't, we kind of forgot about. I don't remember us playing grace notes for a while now, so we do have a grace note. But other than that, You know, we have a little bit more of a rhythm there, second to last measure there with the 8th, the 16th going into the quarters, but still nothing overly challenging. So you know what, I think we're good to just go ahead and give this a sight read, okay? So when sight reading, I don't necessarily worry so much about dynamics, I just think about the notes and the rhythm, you know. All right, so remember, we have the pickup note. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, play, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Perfect. So hopefully the challenging areas are just those higher notes, not so much rhythm. So now let's break this down and we'll kind of speed this up since we have the other two parts too. So we're just going to look at that first line, okay? We're going to pay attention now to our dynamics, so we're going to start as soft as we possibly can. It should sound kind of like a whisper, okay? If it sounds like a really strong note, it's too loud. It kind of needs to have a little bit of a whisper. Okay? So that's really going to be our challenging points, is playing these high notes soft. Remember, we're going to use a lot of diaphragm work here and get a lot of control of that air. Okay? And then just pay attention to your articulations. Most of it's tongue, but we do have some slurs and ties. So like that official second measure, A to C, is slurred, don't tongue there. And then that D to C, and then B to G. And then we're just gonna have those few ties with the same note, okay? So let's play that, just the top line, add in your dynamics and watch your articulation, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That is hard, right? I felt pretty comfortable about mine, but I've done a lot of work with dynamics and high notes. So if you struggled with your high notes coming out soft, you're gonna have to take a little time on your own, but what you're gonna do is just first play it comfortably, kind of like we did, right? And I like to kind of do it note by note, so I'm not looking at rhythms here. I'm just thinking of the note itself, right? So the first note is A. And then so each time I would just stick to like the A, for example. Play it comfortable. Try to make it softer. Try to make it even softer. Make it even softer, and it's almost like the softer I go, the longer I want to hold it too, because I want to make sure that I can hold that dynamic. So now we're going to try even softer. Let's try even softer. Okay, so you're going to want to try to just take it step by step, and how soft can you go with still getting some form of a sound, okay? You can also do decrescendo type exercises. So start comfortably and work your way down softer. And then once you get to that soft point, just hold it out. Okay, so you can do that too. And then once you start being able to just play that A soft and comfortably, then it's time to move on to the next. see if you can use that same kind of feel. So whether for the control here, try to keep it consistent. See if it works for the C, right? So we started with A. Now see if we can apply this same type feel that we're using for A. Now use it towards C. Okay, and if your C was coming out a little loud, just do the same thing. Work your way down the ladder to making it be able to soft and still have a sound. Okay, so if you struggled with those dynamics, take time to do those kinds of exercises to get them quietly. Okay, let's play line 1 one more time with the dynamics and the articulations, okay? Try to put a little bit more of emotion in it this time, so use vibrato where you can. That's where it's even going to be more challenging. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Excellent job. Make sure you keep working on those. But for now, let's take a look at line 2. So now we have a little bit more dynamic work happening. Now we're going to start right in mezzo forte, okay? Then bring ourselves back down to quiet, coming right back into mezzo forte again, and bringing ourselves down to quiet again, okay? So let's give line 2 a try with those dynamics. But let's actually start from the pickup note. So we're going to start on those 2 8th note Fs, okay? Ready? And those are piano. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Perfect. I want to take a moment to just take a look at that grace note too, just to make sure you guys are hitting that. That goes A to C. Okay, you're just going to want to play it real quick, but then hold that C out. So just backing up a little bit. Okay, and those are just slurred too. So try that just real quick, just going from that A to that C. Okay, you give it a try. 1, 2, 3. Ta-da. Do it one more time with me. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Make sure you take a little time to practice that grace note too. Let's do line 2 again with those dynamics, with that grace note, with those slurs in there, and add in vibrato where it feels necessary. We want some emotion in this, okay? Ready? Pick up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Perfect. I feel like that second to last measure, we can really put some emotion in there, so just kind of really feel that out. So let's go ahead and put line 1 and 2 together, part 1. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Excellent job. All right, let's go ahead and do this as a trio now. So you still play part 1, and I will play the other 2 parts. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Excellent job. All right, make sure you take time to go back and practice those little things which are going to really make the piece sound beautiful and the way that it's meant to. All right, let's go ahead and look at part 2 now. All right, so we have the same kind of dynamics, the same key signatures, the same time signatures, the same kind of emotion. The only thing that's different is we are playing different notes. Our rhythm is exactly the same as rhythm 1 or part 1, okay? So let's go ahead and read part 2. Just play at a comfortable dynamic right now and just worry about getting those notes and those rhythms, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Perfect. So you can kind of get the feel for it because of the same rhythms, but it feels much different with those lower notes, doesn't it? So we'll have to be a little mindful of that. So let's take a look at line 1. Now we're going to add in our dynamics and pay attention to those articulations, okay? So we're going to start off as soft as we possibly can, okay? Just like with part 1, almost like a whisper. And you might need to work your way down, so you'll have to work on that on your own to try to really get that quiet, okay? This whole line is quiet. We do work our way up to at least piano, but it's still very quiet, okay? And then we have our slurs to pay attention to. So if you look at official measure 2, F to G, okay? And then like B flat to E, G to E, okay? And then we have those ties on some of those same notes, okay? So let's go ahead and give line 2 a try, add in those dynamics and articulations. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Excellent job. Remember to keep it nice and quiet. The baby is sleeping. All right, let's go ahead and give it a try one more time. This time, let's add a little bit of emotion into it. So add in that vibrato where you can. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Excellent job. Let's go ahead and move on to line 2. Now we're going to come in mezzo forte, kind of loud, right off the bat. We're not working our way into it, just right into it. Okay, but then we just got to quickly decrescendo down to piano, playing softly again. Watch that grace note. That grace note is F to A. So take a quick moment just to play your F to A grace note. Great job. If you struggled with it, just remember to take a little time on your own to just practice that, okay? And that's the way I practice those too, is just real quick. And then sometimes I usually back it up a measure before just so I can smoothen out the transition. Right? So make sure you take a little time on your own to do that as well. Okay, and then on that D again, we're going to come right back into mezzo forte and decrescendo back down to piano, okay? So let's go ahead and give line 2 a try, add in your dynamics, and watch your articulation as well, and make sure you play the grace note. Ready? Let's do the, start from the pickup, so start from those 8th noted Fs. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Perfect. Let's do it one more time. This time, add in your emotion, so add in some vibratos. All right, ready? Pick up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Excellent job. All right, this time you still play part 2. I'm going to play the other part, so we're going to play it as the trio. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Excellent job. All right, now let's look at part 3, okay? So this still has the same type of key signature, still same tempo, time signature, all that's still the same. Now, a lot of our rhythms are the same, but we have some that are different. Part 3 is a little different, okay? So we're still gonna start with those 2 eighth notes, still continuing on with the dotted quarter, eighth, quarter, quarter, quarter rest. But then they have eighths, we have a quarter, okay? And then here we just have straight quarters, while they have other things, okay? So a lot of it, the difference is we have quarters versus where they have eighths. That's the biggest thing. On line 2, ours is a little simpler. So like if you look at the measure 2 on line 2, we have the half note and then the quarter rest when they play, okay? And then we have a quarter note while they're playing. Then we have a half note while they have quarter notes, okay? We do not have a grace note. So this is a little simpler than the other 2 versions. Now, I'm not saying it's not important, you know, whoever's on third part sucks. That's not it at all. Remember, everybody is a team and every part is very important, okay? So if you're on part 3, don't discredit yourself. Part 3 is very much needed here. Okay. Let's go ahead and sight read part 3, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Perfect. So this one, though it has somewhat similar rhythms and lower notes, this one doesn't feel so much like the Lullaby, does it? No, but that's okay. All right, let's take a look at line 1, okay? This time we're gonna add in those dynamics, so we're gonna have to work our way softly. And as we get a little lower, I guess in this case it's more of the mid-range, it'll be easier to play those softer, okay? So dynamics, add in our articulations. As we can see, there's some areas that have ties and slurs. Okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Excellent job. So it is a little easier to play those ones softer than like part 1 and part 2. All right, let's do it one more time. This time add in some emotion, so add in some of that vibrato, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Excellent job. All right, let's go ahead and go down to line 2 now. So this one's a lot easier, just kind of holding things out, being relaxed. We're going to come right in at mezzo forte and then work our way down to piano, coming right back to mezzo forte and then going back down to piano, okay? So let's do this with the dynamics now. Ready? 1, and this time we're going to start right there because we have rests for their pick of notes. So right at line 2. 1, 2, 3. Excellent job. Let's do it one more time. Once again with proper dynamics and this time add in that vibrato. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Excellent job. I think we're ready to play this one as the trio, so you remain on part 3. I'll play part 1 and 2. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Excellent job, and there we have it, the Lullaby. Now, don't forget, we're not done with the Elementary Method book. Don't forget to get your Intermediate book, and don't forget to check out if you need to upgrade your flute. You know, you don't have to if you absolutely don't want to, but, you know, I thought that maybe you'd want the choice and see what's the difference even between the two and make the choice for yourself. All right, so make sure you check out that video as well. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know in the comments. While you're down there, don't forget to hit that like, notify, and subscribe button so you don't miss any of our lessons. Thanks for joining, and until next time, and I'll see you soon, intermediate flute players!